everyone. Today is November 15th, and welcome to Monday equals MC squared. We played a little ABBA for you. I don't know if any of you know that the ABBA just released a new, what do you call it, album. And I was so inspired, and I was thinking about what supports our immune system. And when I heard that song, that's one of their first tracks, I had to play it for you guys. Whether you like ABBA's music or not, that is not the point. The point is the oldest member of that group is 76 years old and the youngest is 71. And they just released a new music, okay? And new album. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I have to play that just to kind of boost your immune system today, and to know that keep doing what you love, and I think that's what they did. So hopefully you enjoyed the music, and if you didn't show up early or you're listening to the recording of it, you can look up ABBA's new music, or what is the album called? Voyage, I believe. And this one was called what, Chris? Could you unmute yourself and tell us what you played for us?
Yeah, I think that track was called I Still Have Faith in You. Yeah.
So anyway, we purposely put the lyrics up for you guys. So I think it's important, to see what they're saying. And I thought, what a good topic to start with, where how to support your immune system and how to really work through this time of the year that a lot of us could get sick from flu or just a seasonal cold or even allergies, and what you could do. I have a question for all of you, and I would love for you to kind of think about this, is that what makes you inspired and what gives you inspiration? But also who gives you inspiration as well. So kind of think about it and put it in the chat. Let's share, because this is going to be a great immune booster. Yeah, I know when I heard the ABBA, I just started to wanted to wear my Disco Inferno pants from my college years and wanted to dancing queen with it. But I just love their new music as well. I think it's pretty fabulous. So write down some things that what inspires you, what gives you inspiration, maybe who gives you inspiration, when do you get inspired? For me, it's when I hear music like that, the people are coming back together and creating something new together. That just is so inspiring to me. I had tears coming down when I listened to that same song like 4 times, just so you know. And it's not even like my kind of music per se, but I loved it. And I think, and I wrote down a couple of things for myself. I draw inspiration definitely from nature. This time of the year is so wonderful because trees have now mostly shed the leaves now, they let go. And the wind came through over the weekend for us, and that's always the case. So Chris, I don't know, are you pinned or something? I feel like, am I the speaker or are you the speaker showing up?
I think you're all set. You look good.
Okay, because you're still showing as a speaker, but that's fine. Okay. Anyway, so the wind is great. When the wind comes, I'm not a wind fan, but when the wind comes, I know the season is totally shifting, right? So I welcome that this time of the year, to let the trees shed and do their own things and release and go dormant for a little bit, or at least quiet down. That's my inspiration, is the nature. And I wrote down a couple more other things, maybe like drawing strengths from other people. So just, watching interviews done for ABBA's new album, that was great. That was so inspirational for me. But seeing some, even like younger generations being innovative about the global warming and what's going on to support this Mother Earth, that's always so inspirational to me. And when we come together like this on Monday calls, so inspirational. And today I didn't even, bother to send all of you like, we're starting in 15 minutes. I didn't do that. But so many of you are showing up. That means you put it on your calendar to show up with us, Chris and me. So that's always, it boosts my immune system, makes me smile. Smile's a big one, right? That creates good immune system. And other things, what I wrote down. So yeah, when we come together, we see and draw strengths from one another. That's also very important. I feel like the Monday calls have been that for me, that we get to draw strengths together, and I get to be vulnerable. You get to hear me talk about things that we're going through in our lives. And, many of you respond to me through emails and things to let me know what you're going through and how much you connected. So those are great. Activating hope is a big one. Particularly right now, we need it. We need to activate that hope. We really have to find that hope throughout the day, throughout what's going on globally, because there's just so much pain that we're all struggling through. And what else did I write down? There were a couple of other things, but let's read other people's comments too, Chris.
I'll do that. And I wanted to say that you, Masami, inspire me.
Ah, well,
It's
thank. I
true.
didn't
No,
even pay you to say that
no,
today.
I know. I'm doing this as your free intern. But no, I just have to say that because you don't ever quit, and that you're always looking for a way through whenever there's difficulty, and you don't give up on the possibility of things being better. And so I think that for me, that has been a point of inspiration many, many, many times over the years. So I wanted to say that. And also for me, it's inspirational to have all of you show up. And especially when we do our more extensive programs like the Lung Weekend retreat that we did recently, being willing to show yourself, even though we did it in a very quiet way. So many of you did that, and to know that you're willing to come to this forum with us is also a source of inspiration. So thank you all for that. Okay, I'll read through a few now. Let's see. Susanna says, who inspires me? People like you, poems and songs. And then Richard said, I agree with Chris. Masami inspires me too. Cheryl says, honestly, you give me inspiration. But even on a very tight budget, I can get solid ideas beyond the uneducated level of what a medical doctor will give me from the antiquated Western medicine model. Sharon says, Masami and Chris partnership inspires me. Lynn says, music inspires me. Driving to awesome music, movies, nature, after meditation, laughing, all inspire and uplift me. Let's see, Mama J says, Adele and her new album 30. And Richard, music in a place where people can dance inspires me. Barbara, when people overcome their challenges, in nature, music, children, stories of hope, creativity that turns out, and family. Biographies, my spiritual community, including you and Chris. Romina says, I'm inspired by all the possibility of who I can be when I give space to my healing. Let's see, Richard, writing poetry. Pauline, walking on the beach. Cheryl, y'all are the highlight of my week. We know you're in Texas, Cheryl. Ashley says, nature, music, poetry, dance, and kindness from a hurting world inspire me daily. My family and friends and colleagues with their open minds and giving hearts inspire me, and people gathering in collective visionary goals for the new earth, rebirth, keep me strong and hopeful. And she says, haha, beautiful tribute, Chris, to beautiful Masami. Okay, Diana, this is funny. I started using decks of inspiration cards each morning to set my space. They're so helpful and insightful. Lucy, when a stranger smiles at this time, especially in these times, maybe smiles at me at this time, especially at these times. Let's see, Singing Phoenix, the joy of an uninhibited expression of children, a great expressive voice, dancers and athletes, all people doing what they love. And then let's see, I'm going to skip a couple. Okay. Music and stories of good things that happen to people, and mostly leaders like you and Chris truly inspire and renew faith in humanity. And we have a lot of people. Thank you all for the reflection back to both of us. I can see there's more and more. I'm not even halfway through the comments. Richard also says, being around people like Masami and Chris, who I feel comfortable being vulnerable around. Cheryl, your poems and shares of the masters always inspire me, Chris. I still remember the first poem I heard you share. The tree in front of me and behind me are not lost. I am not lost. And Masami then dedicated that to me after it already made me cry. Annette says, my pets give me unconditional love and are super interactive and playful, which inspires me to keep going. I'm so grateful for so many things which enrich me: nature, music, meditation, cooking, yummy things, and meeting with you on Mondays. And Claire says, I want to say Mondays can be tough, and then we gather. You are saving my life with your sharing amazingness in a host of ways. Also read Jane Goodall's new book, Joy. No, it's Hope. She says the book.
Okay, Hope.
Okay.
That's great. Yeah, I was actually checking her out this morning, so that's great. I'm going to check out that book. And Claire, is it okay if we read your? Oh, sorry. Did you contact her?
Not yet.
Yeah, okay, Chris, maybe you could contact Claire. Okay. Chris will do a private messaging to you, Claire. This is great. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing that. And, you know, we don't record your faces. So if you want to just show up on the screen for a moment and just smile at each other, let's just do that. Just turn on your camera and let's just smile at each other for showing up. Yeah. Yay. Oh, I just love seeing all of you. Thank you. Thank you. I know. Oh, this is great. Here's Mama J looking hot as usual. Oh, thank you, everyone. Marilyn, Pauline. I know all of you. Irina, I think I'm always saying your name incorrectly, but Irina, I think. But yeah, you're always showing up with the faces. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's great. And then if you need to come off the camera, I'm good to go. But that just gave me lots of boost of energy. So it's great. Well, so let's get to a couple more things. I wanted to, we have a couple things I wanted to cover today, but one, I got an email about selenium. And this person said, you know, I'm getting gassy after I take selenium. And my initial thought was, okay, what's going on? So I kind of tuned into her. And where I got the strongest yes on is that the form of selenium that you're taking might not be the right kind. So make sure you're doing the selenyl methionine form that we talked about last week. And also, your digestion is a little off. So you need to be taking a little bit more hydrochloric acid or B vitamins and then zinc is also helpful for the production of the stomach acid, but I would increase that digestive abilities a little bit more. Selenium is not known to cause gas or bloating. I actually researched this after your email, and I saw one article that 65-year-old women and up might get gas, but the person that emailed me is not in that age group either. So, but it was so like not even like one of the main issues. So I don't think that is what's causing it. And it might be that you need to take it with food and make sure in the middle of the food with the hydrochloric acid, and that should solve that issue. Okay, so I wanted to mention that if any of you are having that. And let's see, I am going to, before we introduce today's supplement, I wanted to actually call back on Diana that she is going to briefly tell us what we talked about several Mondays ago. And this is the theme that we've been talking about this whole year. It's like, what do you uniquely offer to the world, or the world or the future? And this was the question that Chris has been bringing it up in our Monday calls. And she wanted to share her vision of it. She's trying to do custom fit blueprint for the homes. So like a real estate and designing and things like that. So if you are here, please raise your hand and we will know where you're at. So do that. And then once your hand is up, then we'll go there. Anything else, Chris, to add before we go into our topic?
I don't know that I have anything else to add, except I just posted up the reminder for the form of the selenium we talked about last week that we focused on was the selenomethionine. And so if you need to see how that's spelled, it's in the chat. So maybe that's enough to say there.
Yeah. So what do you uniquely offer the world of tomorrow? And, I think I want to put this out to all of you. That's an incredibly important question to continuously ask yourself as we begin to wrap up this year. And I already said that the 2022 is going to be pretty strong. Like I said, intense is no longer the word that even describes it. So I think you want to do sitting down and say, what do I uniquely offer the world of tomorrow? And make the commitment to begin to answer that question. And if any of you want to share that and you want to really put that out there in this form, the Mondays, just let us know. You can raise your hand and let us know, and then we'll have you tell us what it is that you are uniquely offering to the world of tomorrow. And I forgot actually. Okay, so Claire. Okay, the Diana said she was going to be on here, so we'll see. I'm sure she will show up. But one thing I wanted to say about this week, everyone, I forgot that this is one of the things that I wanted to talk about, is the full moon eclipse that is early in the morning on Friday is intense. Okay, once again, I use that word. Right now, and then I'd love to know if you guys have been feeling this. We're living in this like a two parallel worlds that we talked about last Monday too. And on one hand, it's like, I feel like I'm on this, Chris and I both feel this way, but it's like we have this old patterns of our lives, our partnerships, our marriage. And there's this other side, okay, that is coming alongside with us, that is taking us into a kind of a different realm. I don't always want to call it the higher realm, but it's certainly more conscious and certainly vibrationally, frequency wise, it's potent level. And so we have like these two rows that are leading. And this is really the key week, everyone. This is the key week of this entire year that you can consciously make the decision and make the decision by Friday to choose a different path for your life. Okay. And so over the weekend, you might have noticed that you were emotional. Holy cow. I was so emotional. I was snapping at Chris. Chris is snapping back at me. He would probably say, I wasn't snapping at you. I was just snapping back at what you were snapping at me for. But we were like, and these emotions of like not enough feelings started to build up inside me. That was very poisonous to my system. I felt that not good enough, not lovable. I am not accomplishing enough. I am not this. You fill the blank, right? That not enoughness started to come over me. And I thought, where is this even coming from? So I had to sit down and say, listen, you, to myself, I can't go down that road anymore. That is not where I exist anymore. So you may be feeling both of those feelings, like not enough. I'm still stuck in this old rut. I'm still living this old ways, old patterns, old systems, old paradigm. But there's this new that is right alongside, walking with you. So you do need to choose to step over. Okay. That choice will be made this week. For sure. So you've been waiting to make decision this entire year. You're going to be forced to make it anyway. Okay. So plan on that for the Friday's eclipse. This one is very important, okay? Because this is going to set the stage for what you are uniquely offering to the world of tomorrow, okay? So I wanted to mention that. Chris, you wanted to add anything?
I did. It's that last week I shared, it was before we actually started recording, this sense of slipping between dimensions or slipping out of the familiar one into a new one. And several of you commented that that was something that you were also feeling. And so I wanted to bring that alongside of what Masami just said, which is that whatever has been coming up, I'm calling it a new dimension. Okay, that's just sort of my way of experiencing it. But I want you to think about, if you're feeling something like that, that may be the very thing that Masami just pointed to pay attention to and make a decision about committing to it by this Friday. Because these things, if it's an opportunity that's opened up, if it's a new way of understanding that's opened up to you, that doesn't mean it's going to stay open forever and ever. So it's something to take and embrace it. If this is the direction that you want or need to move in, then take it and make that part of your life, part of your day-to-day, part of your routine, part of your DNA. So that's just the last little bit of perspective on that I wanted.
Yeah, there are certain things that forced feeling, Cheryl asked some questions here, I believe. What does that mean, forced? How forces you to do it? It's like a pull, like the current just sucks you in. But basically, you're at the point that there's certain things you just no longer can do anymore. You just can't fake it anymore, or you can't pretend it anymore. You can't just be nice. I grew up as in, like, I spent time in Minnesota, and Minnesota, we have this like Midwest Minnesota niceties, just kind of like, that's nice, kind of thing. Or in the southern states, you say, oh, God bless you, kind of thing, right? Or bless you, or something like that. But it's like, you can't even be nice anymore about it. It's like, no means no. I'm done. I am not repeating this. So a lot of the cord cutting that you've been kind of pretending to do, you have been sharpening the scissors on that, or the knife, and you're going to cut this thing now. You don't just pretend to be like, yeah, I'm cutting the cord now, eventually. And we have a friend that keeps saying, I have a notion to do something. You're no longer going to do, I have a notion to do something. You're just going to do it. Okay. If it means you're going to write that email that you've been wanting to write, it means that you pick up the phone and call this person because you've been meaning to, or you say, I'm done. I cannot say yes to this thing anymore. I can't pretend it anymore. That is this week. Okay. So whether you like it or not, that's going to happen. And what's going to happen is that, yeah, you cut it, right? But there'll be a residual things that you have to pick up after you clean up. You may have to clean up. You might have to do undoing some things or whatever. That's going to last you till about, I would say, beginning of March of next year, that you'll be kind of looking at new way of being now that you cut the cord. You may not know what that's going to look like, but that's going to unfold in the next 4 months or so. Okay. But this is truly the beginning and then also the end to the old patterns of yours.
One thing I would add to the forced feeling is that it may be somebody asks you to do something where you feel like it's forcing you into a position or to take a perspective that you don't necessarily hold, or that you don't hold anymore. This is something that happened to me in the last couple of weeks from somebody important in my life. And that's what I realized, is that, this is asking me to do something that I really can't do because the assumptions are wrong, or there's something out of step, something out of alignment. And so I can't meet this request. I can't do what's being asked because it's not congruent with me. So that might just be another piece to look at. So,
And it's scary. It's scary to cut that cord, but you've been sharpening the whatever the tool you're going to use to cut it. You have been sharpening this. It's not like it just happens this week. You have been preparing for this. So go for it. Okay. Really go for it. And this is when you have to have that faith in you, cultivate the great wisdom that you have inside you and trust it. Okay. That is the key this week. So, we'll come together next Monday again, and maybe some of you have something to share about cord cutting. And I think that's good because we need each other to support right now, particularly like I said, next 4 months or so, this is going to unfold. But this is when you have to say, here I am, I'm done. I'm ready for this. I trust this process because I've been working on it. So it's not like blindly jumping or leaping, but this is something you have been working on. So I wanted to say that it is a profound week. This week is profound. Okay. So don't waste it. Okay. Don't waste it on Netflix and Hulu's and, stupid watching TV till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. Don't waste it. This is a profound week. All right. So Diana, I see you now. So I will ask you to unmute. And maybe you can pull the screen down so we can all see your face better. Oh, did she unmute yet? There you go.
How's that?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that looks much better. We're ready to take notes on what you are uniquely offering to the world of tomorrow. Oh, can you hear? Are we hearing her or is it me?
Sure, she's muted. Sorry, Diana, you're muted.
What happened?
Let's try this one more time.
I'm going to ask to unmute her. Are you asking to unmute? Oh, there you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay. Now you can hear me, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. But what I'm really passionate about, I've been doing this about 30 years, is redesigning a person's home based on their own specific energy. So it's not feng shui, it's not specifically any teaching, though I was trained in how to properly arrange furniture. And what my passion has been is that people don't understand how much your environment and surroundings affect you. And so when it's in harmony, or at least if you're going through transition, if the space itself is grounded and balanced, you can go through things a lot more easily. And so, for instance, I had done a home a week ago. That's why I was not able to join you last Monday. And just what you were saying, Masami, I think what happens during the redesign process is the person finds validation. They think they don't like their stuff or whatever. And I have worked with everyone from college students to doctors, the gamut of financial wherewithal and style and that kind of thing. And what happens at the end of the process is I work with where you are, and you end up being validated, because what's more validating than at the end of the day, your home is redone and it's a direct reflection, all your possessions, all your things that do mean to you, you may just see everything in a new way. And so it's really, really my passion. And I think in what's out is the way of the past, because you do want to seek validation. The person is stunned that this is their.
Okay, is it just me or is it? Are you?
I think Diana, your connection's a little spotty, so we might have to recap just a little bit.
So I think I need you to be a little more concise, but what I get is that you provide a service to validate where they're at in their home, and that reflects who they are. So it's not like a complete changes of what they already have, but you validate what they already have and enhance it. That's kind of what I got. Oh, she probably is not, connection isn't great.
I think she might have dropped off. We can come back.
Let's go into our topic today. Okay. And then we can always come back and ask her when she comes back in. Are you good to do that? Okay. So drum roll, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about quercetin. Okay. And many of you probably have heard of quercetin by now, I hope. But if you haven't, then we will explain a little bit more. But quercetin is like kind of everywhere. If you eat really good fruits and vegetables and colorful foods, so you have probably heard of the word like eat the rainbow kind of a thing, right? But quercetin is something that is so sweet, sweet as in like sweet nature. Of course, you know me, I like to look at minerals and supplements and vitamins and things like that from like a friendship level. Quercetin is a friend that you definitely want to have. Okay. It's a sweetheart because it gives away part of who she is to say, okay, use this so that you can do something else with it. And it's always kind of showing up to give. So let's say, you were baking a cake or something, and you needed 3 eggs, but you only had 2 eggs. It's that neighbor that you can always go to and say, can I just have one, borrow 1 egg? Meaning, can I have one of your eggs to make my cake because I forgot to purchase the 3 eggs? Then that's the neighbor, is like the quercetin. Okay. So it's a wonderful thing that you can get from eating things like red onions or like white onions. That's fine, but lots of berries, elderberries, blueberries, raspberries, cranberries. So for those of you that live in the United States, you're going to get quercetin from things like cranberries as well. But green vegetables, anywhere from asparagus to kale, you're going to get them. Dark cherries, you're going to get them too. But particularly like red skinned products. So even like red peppers, right? Or red skinned grapes. Those are great things to have for quercetin. But quercetin is an antioxidant. Okay. So red apples too. But if you're going to eat red apples, don't peel the apple skin, right? Make sure you eat the red skin with it too. That's when you're going to get the quercetin too. And we'll tell you why quercetin is so important for the immune support and an antiviral. And then also it's great for flu season to keep your body healthy. But remember that it is an antioxidant. And so it's on the red skin area a lot. So what this means is that if you're not buying organic and you're buying products that are being sprayed in the natural crops, like normal crops that are non-organic, then you are not, you want to peel those things because you don't want to be eating pesticides, right? So this is when you really need to invest your money on eating things that are organically, so you can eat the skin part too. And I wanted to kind of bring the quercetin with the zinc, okay? So zinc, we've talked about in August, right? And for those of you that are new to what we do, we did on the second week of August, we devoted the entire Monday on the zinc, topic of the zinc and how to test yourself if you have adequate zinc or not. So please go back and watch that. But zinc actually requires this neighbor to give 1 egg so that he or she can make the cake, okay, bake the cake. So zinc requires that nice neighbor called quercetin, okay? Because quercetin is what it's like a taxi almost, think of like a sweet neighbor, but it's also a sweet neighbor that gives you a ride because your car broke down. That's quercetin. Zinc gets in the car of the neighbor's car and then gets to go into the cells and then gets absorbed through the cells, because quercetin is like a car or like a taxi or a really nice neighbor that will take you to get your tires fixed. Okay. So when you're taking zinc, that's awesome. But if you're eating crap, okay, and you're not eating organic foods and you're not eating rainbow colors in your diet throughout the week, then you just don't get the zinc into the system. And you have to remember, when you get sick, your zinc gets sucked in. Like, all your cells are pulling the zinc in. All your organs love the zinc. So zinc gets used up when you're sick. So this is when you got to up your zinc. But if you could up your quercetin with it, that can transport the zinc into the cells, because quercetin will drive the zinc into the cells. Okay. So Chris, you want to add something? I know you like the analogy of my neighbor analogy.
I think you covered it really well, but one of the things about this time that we're in, and part of the reason that we're talking about the antiviral supplements that you can use, particularly as we start going into the winter or the cold months, this is a really important one. And so, yeah, the zinc quercetin relationship is really important. Just like Masami said, she did a really good job of talking about it. But one of the things is, I'm going to follow on her analogy, which is, if you don't have that nice neighbor, or if there are no taxis available, then if you're zinc, you might be out in the cold. You might not have the help you need to get to where you need to get to. And so this is also why food sources of quercetin are important. So Masami covered several of those, all those nice red colored foods, but also things like capers and asparagus have quercetin in them too. But especially because of this time that we're in, that the zinc in particular is very important to get into the inside of your cells. And when you're already struggling with some kind of illness, the body's response to that is going to be inflammation. So quercetin has a double role to play. It helps fight the inflammation, because one of the things it does is it's an antioxidant. And that's what antioxidants do, is they help to remove and bind these things called free radicals that help to contribute to inflammation in the body. Free radicals are one form of inflammation. It can also be byproducts of our immune function, like we've talked about before, the cytokines. So quercetin is very helpful to suppress and to remove those out of our system. And at the same time, it's helping to get the zinc where it needs to go, which is inside of the cells. And once the zinc is inside of the cells, it's like a supercharger for the inside of the cell immune response, not just what's happening in your bloodstream. So these two things are very important to work together to make that happen. And I'll pause there. That's probably good enough, because those two analogies are really good. I think that's a good way to remember it: the taxi and the friendly neighbor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does the both, and it doesn't look back. It says, "Oh, you don't need to give my egg back," or "No, don't worry about that. Like, I will drive you there." That's how sweet quercetin is. So every time you take it, you just want to go, "Oh, thank you, sweet quercetin. You're my friend." It's like, I feel like I'm surrounded by supplements in my kitchen, but I'm also surrounded by all these like different personalities. It's kind of fun, because wherever my personality is that day, because I have like 12 archetypes that come in and out, they tend to have relationships with the different guys, right, on the kitchen counter. I wanted to say a couple more things about quercetin and the milligrams as well. But milligrams, anywhere from like 400 to 500 is kind of a normal dose. Like, that's like a 1 capsule per day. And if you want to take it with food, that's fine. You don't have to be too precise with it, but food is great. Okay. But that's just 1 capsule. But my mentor I have a couple mentors, but one of my mentors said that his wife got kind of sick from COVID, and she ended up taking she was taking 3 capsules 3 times a day for about 3 days straight. And then she started to lower. So that's just kind of the protocol that he gave me for if you're having a major symptoms from COVID or some kind of an influenza or some kind of flu issues, okay, or viral expressions, you may want to do really high dose for like 3 days. That's a pretty high dose. there's really no major side effects with it because this is just kind of antioxidants that you get from foods and things like that. But you don't need to do it at the high level forever. Okay. Maintenance dose is about 500 milligrams. Okay. If you're smaller, you might be able to do 400 or so. But if you're feeling the acuteness, and then what he said is that his wife was sick, so he decided to just take 3 capsules per day for about 10 days to make sure that he didn't get sick either. So that was about 1,500 milligrams is what he did. But the thing is, most people in this country only get about 6 to 18 milligrams of the quercetin per day, 6 to 18 milligrams of quercetin per day. Okay. So supplementing that and getting a little bit more, 500 milligrams, that's going to be really good. So you could eat well, but you still are not getting enough quercetin. So I say we started taking more and more quercetin now. And, we generally eat well. So I haven't noticed tremendous changes or anything, but my body seems to like it. So we're just going to keep going with it. And then the quercetin that we use is from Zorex, actually. And then the Zorex one has 500 milligrams and then it has bromelain with it. Do you see that, everyone? Bromelain in it. You probably want to get the one that has bromelain in it because, and then if you want to get the ones that we use or you want to learn about it, you could just go to my website and it should be under the store. But you want to get the one with the bromelain because bromelain is basically your digestive enzymes that digest protein. So it's easier for you to absorb the quercetin into your body. Okay. So that's why you want to have some digestive enzymes and particularly bromelain. And bromelain is great for, I call them the cleanup crew in the night. They love to clean out like protein debris and like maybe parasites or even viruses or fungus and yeast, maybe some things that have not quite digested, but they're stuck in your colon. The bromelain is great for a cleanup crew, right? So having quercetin help you with the antioxidant side and then help you with your immune system while the bromelain is going in there to clean things out, okay? So that's a good combination. And generally, most quercetin will come about in 500 milligrams. That's usually the range. So that's a good one to start with as a maintenance, okay? And I wanted to read a couple of things about what they're great for. A lot of the studies are coming out about the quercetin. It's really great because it's a great broad-based anti-aging supplement. So just in general, quercetin is great for your skin, hair, nail also. It's, like I said, it's great for immune support. It's protective to your hardworking heart. So it's very protective against cardiovascular disease. It also boosts your mitochondria. That's really kind of cool, okay? For those of you that don't know what mitochondria is, that they are like, I would say like energy centers. Without mitochondria operating correctly, you don't sustain your life. I actually heard the statistics that if your mitochondria stopped operating, you will be dead within less than a second. So you want to boost your mitochondria, right? And it's quercetin's job. One of the quercetin's job is to boost your mitochondria. And what they did was that they did a study on mice, but also in human studies. They saw that the improvements in people's athleticism, exercise performance, so people could run longer, they could run faster, basically the duration of exercise increased without any major issues because it's anti-inflammatory too. So exercise is going to inflame your body. So taking quercetin can, offset that inflammatory side, right? So these were actually human trials that they've done. So I thought that was really cool. These 2 studies that I was reading, they said they had people take quercetin without any training. So they weren't training for anything. They just had them take them and they checked the performance before and then after and an increase. And they weren't even training to run a marathon, or they weren't exercising every day to improve themselves. They were just taking quercetin. So I thought, wow, this is great for couch potato that I have become these lately because I sit so much. Quercetin is going to help me with that, right? And improves the inflammatory responses like we talked about. It's antioxidant support. And this is the cool part. It has the it improves your histamine reactions and responses. So if you have like histamine issues, quercetin can actually soften that blow, or, calm that fire inside you. So, if you're having histamine reactions from like seasonal allergies, or that you have histamine issues, this might be a supplement that you look into, which is quercetin. Okay. And another study that I thought this was perfect for what we're talking about here with flu season and COVID and other viruses and so on and so forth, is that quercetin actually improves and supports your health of your skin, but also health of your lungs, the skin of the lungs, the inside lining of the lungs. So that's a really good thing to remember. If you're having, let's say, bronchitis, or maybe you had a really bad cough that went deep into your lungs. Well, every time you're coughing, you are scarring your lungs, right? So that might be important that you actually start to take quercetin. And I'll give you an example of mine. And I totally forgot about this, actually, is that this was about 3 weeks ago. I was back in Santa Fe again. I met up with a friend of mine, and I stayed at this one place that had the Kiva fireplace, but the chimney actually had some blockages from leaves or something. So I was trying to start the fire, and all the smoke came inside where I was staying. So I inhaled tremendous amount of smoke that weekend, and I was not doing well. My eyes got super puffy. I started to get rashes. I was achy, and I was coughing up, but like really that deep cough that nothing really comes up. I'm just coughing, and the cough just stays up and down right at my chest. So I have actually increased quercetin without even thinking about it. And I recovered from that pretty quickly. So I totally forgot to mention that, everyone. So that's a good thing to remember. I think those are it that I can come up with. I wrote down on my, anything else, Chris, that you want to add?
I'm going to just clarify something really quickly. Claudette's been asking a question about the dosing that you mentioned. So let me just, I tried to say it in the chat, but let me just speak it, and it might be clearer that way. So when you are doing a maintenance dose, what Masami is saying is 1 500 milligram capsule would be sufficient for an entire day. If you're having symptoms of some kind of illness, whether it's viral or whatever, it will help regardless. It's antiviral, it has antiviral properties, but the therapeutic dose, so Claudette, this is for you. Basically, you could start with something like 1 500 milligram dose morning, evening, and night.
Yeah,
Okay?
three times a day.
Take that 500 milligram dose 3 times throughout the day. Okay. And if you're still struggling with the symptoms, you can up that dose even a little bit more for a few days. And then you want to bring it back down. Okay. So that's what we're saying.
Yeah. So one of my mentors said that when his wife got sick for 3 straight days, she did 3 capsules 3 times per day. Okay.
Which would be 4,500. So that's correct. You did the math. You followed the example.
Yeah.
Correct.
But for 3 days. And then she backed down to 3 times, 3 capsules per day. Right. So 1 at breakfast, 1 at lunch, 1 at dinner kind of thing. Okay. And quercetin actually helps to have a natural desire to eat also. When you're sick, you're just like, oh, I just don't want to eat anymore. Or, I just have no appetite. Quercetin doesn't increase your appetite like crazy or anything like that. It just helps you to maintain a healthy appetite also. So
can I comment one more thing? Marilyn asked, you're actually correct, Marilyn. this is me commenting because Masami probably isn't aware of this point on the website. Our suppliers, so the one that she showed you, Zorex International, this is a relatively new product, and they haven't actually given us the product information yet, so we don't have it posted on the website publicly yet. But if you can watch for that, we will have it up very soon.
Well, we can put it up today.
Yeah, so it's a new product that they have just started to produce. And this is just a word about this line, Zorex, is that you can only get them from people like us that are practitioners. They don't sell them on Amazon. They don't sell them through third parties. They're very, very high quality supplements. So I just wanted to clarify that. We will be posting that up here very shortly. We were just waiting on some information.
Yeah, this is good. Several of you are taking that, so that's excellent. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's the main one. I had another one that I want to talk about, but I decided to wait on that one.
Maybe that's good for now. We've got that comment to share.
Yeah, that's true. And then yeah, comment would be good. I also just wanted to, tell everyone that make sure to do some thymus support also. So, doing the right between your breast tissues and rubbing that, the CV17 point is great for immune system support as well. Okay. So right at the breast tissues, which I talk a lot about in the lung retreat also, but just a beautiful spot to rub. And if it feels a little bit sensitive to you, I was actually playing around with it yesterday on my own body. And this is one thing you have to know about me is I'm always playing around with my own body, like going, that's kind of weird. What can I do? So yesterday it was a little tender. So I was thinking, okay, I have not been chewing food very well, like rushing to eat and things like that. So I actually did some clenching and chewing motion with my mouth. And then I went back and rubbed that CV17 point, and it did not feel tender anymore. So I'm just telling you, if you want to try it, you can give that a try. Okay. All right. I think so. And everyone, please do, remind yourself to take the zinc too. I don't want to go into the zinc so much anymore right now because we went over so much. But one of the key words about the quercetin is it's called zinc ionophores, is what they're called. Quercetin is ionophores or four. Do you want to write that word down, Chris, on the chat? Yeah, ionophores. And ionophores are basically transporters. They're the helpers of all things going on in your body. So quercetin is the zinc's helper, zinc's driver, zinc's good neighbor, right? That's how you want to put it together. Okay. They work together. All right.
It's just exactly that. An ionophore just is something that helps another element cross the cell membrane and become available to the cell.
Yeah. All right. Good. So then let's read that comment that came in to our lung retreat, and it was so beautiful. So I wanted to have Chris read that for us.
Okay, and I also wanted to say for those of you, if you haven't done this, if you're on the Energy Medicine Summit, I just checked my link and it looks like it's still good. So if you haven't left a comment, this is always very helpful to Masami and just to let the Shift Network know that you've enjoyed her programs that she does when she does these summits, because that also helps them to know that they want to invite her back for more. And I know that I want to hear more because every time she talks, it's something I've never heard her say before, actually. So I hope if you haven't done that, you'll have a chance. I'm going to put this link up. This is the one that I received, and it might be personalized to me, but you can find something like this in your email, and you can find this just as well. It came out just on Monday last week. So if you want to check your email for that, you might want
And
to check it out. This one is actually personalized to me. So this one won't work. It's going to take you to SurveyMonkey. I just saw the whole link when I posted it. But check in your...
do you know what the email subject said?
I'll have to go back and look for that. I can find that in a second.
It's okay. It's all right. But Diana, could you, if you want to share your contact info, there's some that asked about it. And if you don't mind sharing, please put it on the chat. And if it's not something you want to share and you want to only share to a limited people or whatever, then you can always let me know too. Okay. And then if you want to know about her work, then you can contact me. Okay. So let's do the reading.
And really quick, Diana, I saw you you put up your email. You sent it to me in a private message. So if you'd like to share that with the whole group, feel free to put that. Just make sure you select everyone in the chat. Otherwise, I can put it up in just a minute. Okay. So, oh, Linda, thanks for the comment. She clicked the link and she says it works to give us our own survey. Okay, good. So if you've already been logged in, it should take you to your login. That's great. Okay, thanks, Diana. We got your email up.
And Diana, I think I'm going to have a homework for you. I still need you to be a little more concise with what you're trying to do. So, this is one of the kind of things that I do, and Chris can chime in, but I help a lot of healing industry and kind of like innovative women, particularly women. I love working with women on this, about their businesses and how to grow their business. And just like last week with majority of the clients that I worked with, you might think I'm going to be talking about health, but as their health improves, we start to talk about how to grow their business. So I do this conversations and I help women grow their business a lot. I've been an entrepreneur since 1997 and I've done extremely well. And on my own, there's no way I can work for anyone. Okay. It's just, I like being my own boss. Chris knows that. So I've been doing my own work as a business owner for 25 years. So I can really, I can help you. So just, start to do a little more concise. I want to hear it just so I could just read it and then tell exactly what it is that you're offering. This is part of my passion too, because I have a master's in international business. I have an MBA also. So I love to work on women doing so much better in the world and doing our own money making and growing our own businesses and helping each other out. So this is why I was intrigued by what you asked me a couple Mondays ago, and I wanted to come back and ask you about it. So yeah, work on your concise thing. Okay. And then this is the future needs conscious decorating. Yes, I love that. Okay. But I still want to know what it is. Okay. I still need to know what it is because we don't all speak the language of this energy world that we get to come together on the Mondays. So in order for your business to expand, I want to know a little bit more steps you take or what is it that you do. So I will keep coming back to you till I'm clear on what you do. Okay. So anyway, okay. So let's read that comment and we'll wrap up today.
Okay. So just again, hearing back from all of you is so helpful for not only the feedback and the information that it provides us, and it provides Masami about content that she's developing and working on and fine-tuning it and bringing it back even better than before. So this is always very helpful. So wanted to share this comment. We had a lot of really great ones come out of the last retreat, and this one was a really nice one. So it says, I was away when the retreat was live. So I took the middle of this week to dedicate to replay the retreat. It was powerful. The Friday night portion was a wow. The number 23 has always been my number, as my birthday is 8/23. I could so feel the energy of my Celtic ancestors, but to go back 23 generations made it more real. I've done deep dives in my chaplaincy journey, and all the meditations enabled others and another folds to see the light of my grief, especially this past year's losses. The second day was somatically powerful. My spine gave way to such opening from top to bottom, and my chest was expansive like I never felt before. I made sure to take a mineral bath and had one of the best night's sleep that I can remember, with a vivid dream about my close cousin who died less than 2 years ago. Today, my body was tight and the floor work didn't flow as freely as the day before. My body relished it all the same. The information that you provided was insightful and continued branding on my Masami foundation. Can I say how cute you two are and what a lovely energy you share with us? I also want to share that I'm developing a greater appreciation for poetry thanks to the two of you. The musical prayer was awesome, and the passion that Chris expressed touched me deeply. I'm blessed to have you both in my life. Thank you from the depths of my soul for all you have imparted to my MC2 tribe around the world. So again, let's finish where we started. This is inspirational to us. You're inspirational to us, showing up and sharing this time with us, and also sharing your feedback is really meaningful. So if you have something that you'd like to share, please do. And we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, and if you have anything that you would like us to cover, things that you've been curious about, as you begin to know us and get to know us, you know that we have a wide range of interest, okay? So it's health is everything and wellness is everything. We don't just get stuck on eat this, don't eat that, and take this supplement and, go to bed early. Okay, those are very important, but we have our interest in poetry, music, deep thinking, consciousness, elevating our vibration together, our energetic fields together. So we're all interested in all these things. And one of the books that the Chris really loves referencing in our conversations, the one I have with Chris, is the book Range. Range is not about specialties. We've overly emphasized special knowledge that you go to an expert to learn this one thing from that expert. We are not the expert of one thing. We are interested in many things, and we like to learn in depth in all these areas. We just do. We spend a lot of time learning and exploring. And like I said, I use my own body to find out where the answers are. So that's, I know you guys are starting to get to know us and how we approach world, but it's the range that I think it's going to take us to the next world. It's no longer just this a narrow-minded focus on one thing and you just get good at just one thing. But it's start to lift your head up and start to look around and be interested in things that maybe you just never paid attention to. Read a book that you normally don't read. If you always read memoirs, maybe read, fiction books. Okay, you've always read fiction books, then read nonfiction books. Pick up a newspaper instead of just looking at the screens. Do different things, move differently. That's one of the things we say, right? So that's it. And Chris, you have anything else you want to read from the comments? And then we'll wrap up. I know we keep saying we're going to wrap up. We don't want to leave our MC² tribe.
I think probably that's good for today. There are a lot of expressions of gratitude back to us. So thank you again. And I think that's probably good for today.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, everyone. We'll be here next Monday. Okay, take your Quercetin. Bye.